Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome. My name is Faith. Thank you so much for being here. Today I am doing my first real pregnancy video. I did do my sort of announcement, where have I been video, so that was technically the first, but this is my first official titled pregnancy type of video. So I'll link that first video down below. You can kind of hear some of my initial reactions of being pregnant and what had been going on with me, but today I am doing a full compilation of my entire first trimester, my experience, some different things that helped me through that, and some weird cravings I've had, and just getting you up to date on how I've been and everything like that. So as of today, I am 13 weeks and a day or two. If you are new to my channel and haven't subscribed yet, definitely subscribe. If you like what you see, I would love that. All you have to do is hit the red subscribe button. It's totally free, and then tap the notification bell as well so that you're notified every time I upload a video. My channel mostly consists of beauty, makeup, hair, fashion, things like that, but now that I'm pregnant, I'm going to be sprinkling in some pregnancy videos as well to see how they go. If you guys like them, I'll keep doing more. So yeah guys, let's get right on into my first trimester recap. Okay, I'm gonna pull up my phone here. I have a list of notes that I took throughout the first trimester and just different things I wanted to make sure I mentioned and talked about. So if you see me looking down, that is why. The first thing I wanted to do was just talk about how I found out I was pregnant and how I told Nick and things like that, because I didn't talk about that in that initial video. So a little background on myself. Nick is my husband, we've been married for a little over 5 years, and we decided in October, or actually the end of September, that we wanted to start trying. And bam! I literally think it took 2 tries. When I went back and saw how far along I was like, yeah, that was the first week we were trying that I got pregnant, and it wasn't even when I was ovulating, it was a few days after my period was over. So it happened so fast. We're so thankful. We feel blessed by that, but it did kind of shock us, because yes, we were ready and wanted to start having a family, but I don't think we just expected how fast it could happen, because everyone kind of talks about, well, it might take a few months, even up to a year. Now I'm 27, so the older you are, the longer it can take. So I'm young and healthy, and it just happened. It just, bam, it happened. So I found out on a Tuesday morning. I think it was October 7th. I think that was. If that's a Tuesday, then that was the right date. So at that point, I was only 3 weeks pregnant. I had been taking pregnancy tests the last week or two, but it was just too early. I wasn't close enough to my next period for it to show up or anything. And while I was taking those, I wasn't telling Nick that they were coming back negative, because I didn't want to every time I took a pregnancy test be oh yeah, it's negative, whatever. I kind of just kept that to myself until it was going to be positive. So I'd been taking all these tests, and I'll never forget, I hadn't taken one in 5 days, and I just had a feeling maybe I was gonna be pregnant. I don't know. I know I just said I knew it would maybe take some time and wasn't expecting it to happen, but you also kind of know you're trying, so there's a good possibility you are. So I don't know, it was a whole weird thing. I just remember standing there just and here's the thing too, the pregnancy tests always say wait, I don't know, what is it, 3-5 minutes or something like that. It had gone positive within 30 seconds. So I was oh yeah, I'm pregnant. So my jaw just dropped. I just stood there oh my gosh. I was thank you, Jesus. Please keep this baby healthy. That's the first thing that came into my mind. Just oh my gosh, I have a baby in me that's so tiny right now. Just keep this baby healthy. This is amazing, because I know it's so early on and everything like that. So that was crazy. So I took the pregnancy test on a Tuesday morning. Nick had been traveling for work Monday to Tuesday, so he was coming home that night, but he wasn't here with me in the morning when I took it, which I actually liked, because then I was able to kind of plan how I wanted to tell him and everything like that. I had already ordered a cute little onesie, and I was gonna put the positive pregnancy test in a box with that. I had already thought I want to have some sort of baby item with the pregnancy test in a present to him when I tell him. So I had ordered that right when we started trying. I don't know when I'm gonna be able to give this to him, but I'm just gonna get it. So when Nick came home that night, I told him I had a little gift for him, and he made a comment because it was just like a little box. He was like, oh, that's just a little box, it's probably not that exciting. I actually do have it videotaped, but I think I'm just gonna keep that private for now. Maybe one day I'll share it with you guys, but it's just a nice special memory that I'm gonna keep between us and our family. But anyways, he opened the box and it was just like silent for 5 seconds, which felt like forever. And he was just like, it worked. Like that was one of the first things he said, and we'll never forget. We laugh at it so much. He just kept saying, it worked, like such a dude thing to say. But he was so excited. He was like, I love you, this is so great. It was a really awesome night. So the next day I made an appointment with my OB, and I think she got me in at like 7 weeks or something like that. And it was confirmed I was pregnant and everything like that. And at this point I had been feeling very, very nauseous for like a week and a half to 2 weeks. My nausea started at about week 5, 5.5, and it was really bad. It was 24/7 nausea, like overwhelming nausea. I did vomit probably 6 times throughout the first trimester, so it wasn't a lot, but it was just this intense nausea and a lot of like food aversions. Like I couldn't think of anything that would sound good, and I'd think of one item that would like sound good, and of course we didn't have it because it was the most random food product ever. So Nick would have to go to the grocery store or go get me food or something like that. So it was really hard. It was a lot harder than I expected. I didn't expect to have morning sickness, which was really stupid because so many people get it, but my mom never had it, and so I just kind of thought, oh, I won't have it either. So it was unexpected, even though it shouldn't have been, because I know a lot of people get it. But anyways, I went into the doctor at week 7. I told her how I was feeling. I told her how bad it was, and that, you know, is it safe to tell our parents like how, at this point, you know, I'm 7 weeks in, so, you know, how safe is it? And she was really negative. I actually ended up switching OBs. If you want me to make a video on that, I think that'd be a really good video idea for anybody that's maybe struggling with the decision to switch OBs. There were a couple things that I didn't love, and when I was just going in for regular checkups like years prior, it wasn't a big deal because nothing was wrong with me. I never had any concerns, so it wasn't a big deal. But now that I was pregnant and there were a lot of things going on, and I just noticed some things that I didn't like. But she was really negative. She kind of was like, well, 1 in 4 pregnancies end in miscarriage, so I wouldn't really say anything. And I was just like, okay, I just feel like you didn't have to phrase it that way. I don't know. I'm sure I was sensitive and hormonal and things like that, but there were other things too that if I make that video, let me know down below if you want me to make that video. I will share those. But we ended up telling our parents anyways, like the next week, because I was so sick. My mom and Nick's family and, you know, all of our friends, they live right around here. Like my mom and dad live 10 minutes away, so I see them all the time. So for me to just be super sick for weeks on end and have no real reason, it was just, and I just wanted her support too. Like I wanted to talk to my mom more than anything. Even though, you know, Nick is my husband, he's there, he's my best friend, there's just something about having your mom there to talk to and like, I don't know, just help you out and let you know it's gonna be okay. And she's like, she was amazing. But anyways, so we ended up telling them at about the 7.5 week mark or something like that, and I had some really cute gifts for them to share the surprise with them. And it actually landed on their anniversary, their 30th anniversary, like right around that time. So it was kind of a fun time to be able to tell them. Sorry if you hear my dog. Before I get into the nausea and what I did to help with that, I just wanted to mention like some other really weird pregnancy symptoms I had, because I thought that this was really funny. So before I was nauseous, like very early on in week 4 and 5, something I noticed was I was like so easily scared or like jolted. It was crazy, and I didn't even know I was pregnant at this point, but just the littlest thing would make me jump. And I have no idea why. I'm not a jumpy person. It was really weird. Like I remember one time I was driving in my car and just a little splat of like rain popped on the windshield that normally you'd be like, oh, like whatever. I like jumped and almost lost control of my car because it just like scared the crap out of me. And that happened here too with Nick and Kip. Like they would just scare the crap out of me out of nowhere. And it was the weirdest thing ever. So I think that that was some weird hormonal pregnancy thing. I also had super vivid dreams. I haven't had those in the last few weeks, but earlier on in the first trimester, I was having vivid dreams. I wish I would have written them down because I don't remember what they are. I just remember that they were like so vivid, colorful, bright, like realistic. It was super weird. Another thing I've noticed that I still have is I lose my breath a lot, which I know is really bad. It's probably indicative of the fact that I haven't worked out in years. I used to be very athletic and I worked out a lot. I was in good shape and I just haven't done it in years. So I have my treadmill out. I'm gonna start walking and things like that, but I've just noticed I've been losing my breath a lot. There's just a lot going on in your body, and yeah, I've noticed that. Majorly sore boobs, like majorly sore. They're not as sore anymore, but they were so sore, and I've had to get a bigger bra too because they've just grown huge, but they were so sore that when I would go in the shower, even just like the splat of water on them would hurt. So whenever I would face the shower, I would just like hold my boobs like this. Insane. Another really weird thing in this region is my nipples were so itchy. That hasn't happened in a while, but like maybe 2 weeks ago, they were so itchy. My mom said that she had that too. I did maybe 2-3 weeks ago when I was coming down from the worst of my nausea. I was having some dizziness and lightheadedness, and I honestly think that's because I was dehydrated. I was so nauseous that I know I wasn't drinking enough water. I know I was not. Another terrible thing is I am such a coffee lover. Like, I love coffee. I have a cup every day, and for some reason that's one of my biggest aversions. I don't want coffee. It sounds terrible. Whenever I am sick, which isn't often, but whenever I am sick, I don't want coffee, so I don't know if that has something to do with it, but I haven't had a coffee in 3 months, and it's really sad because I love coffee. I love going to Starbucks. And I just haven't had one. Chocolate as well was an aversion, like sweet things like that I didn't like. I've definitely been craving more salty and sour, like I've been eating a ton of Skittles, Airheads, hard candy, which I never eat hard candy, ever. I haven't had hard candy in like over 10 years, but I've been craving that. I also have noticed like some cramping, and that's normal. It wasn't like bad cramping. It wasn't like really intense cramping, but just like my stomach muscles were really sore, and it's just because you're expanding, I guess, like you're just growing. But let me go back into my nausea. So what I did to help with my nausea was I tried a lot of ginger products. I had these morning sickness candies. I will link them down below. My friend at work got them for me. So sweet. They really did help. They just took the edge off, and they were not only ginger, they were ginger and B6. And I actually think it was the B6 that helped me, because then I started taking a B6 tablet on top of my prenatals, and I think that that helped me. I was also taking, the doctor said it'd be okay. There were some like things online I didn't love, so I'm kind of glad they didn't end up working out for me, but I was also taking ginger capsules. Those didn't work. So I don't know if it was the ginger that was helping in the candies or the B6. I kind of think it was the B6, but they're just morning sickness candies. You can get them on Amazon. I don't know if you can get them in store. I think the brand is Pink Stork. I'll put those down below. And mint tea helped. So I tried ginger tea. It didn't really help. Mint tea helped, and I've heard that mint helps. Also, the smell of lemons, like citrus smells, really helped. I would literally just hold a lemon at my nose and it would help. And another thing I wanted to mention legitimately, there were at least three times in my car where I just started crying because I was so nauseous. I felt so terrible. I feel like it's probably not coming across on camera how bad it was, because I feel really great right now and I'm all done up, but like, let me tell you, I was a ghost. I didn't wear makeup for probably 2 months almost, like legitimately. People were like, you look terrible. But I would just put worship music on in my car and just sing, and I would just break down in tears. I would just break down in tears, and that actually helped. It was like therapeutic. And I just prayed like, please take this away, because some people were saying like, oh, it'll definitely go away after the first trimester. And then there were other people that were like, oh, I had it the whole pregnancy. And, you know, or even just having it to like 16 or 20 weeks. Because at this point, I was only at 7 or 8 or like even 9 weeks. And the thought of having to go through what I was going through for another 2 months or more was like beyond. I was so overwhelmed. I was so sick of feeling sick and nauseous because it was 24/7. There was no relief, none. Even when I like did the mint tea and things like that, there was no relief. It was terrible. And I would just cry in my car and pray. And I really do think like God God totally helped me through. And actually one of the last day I remember doing that and just like crying in my car and praying, I actually had a thought. Actually, was it me? I was researching something and I swear this was God like showing this to me. The biggest thing that helped me, I can't believe I didn't mention this, the biggest thing that helped me and really turned everything around, and I don't know if it was in my head, I don't know if it was God just like taking it away, I don't know if it was these things, but I got C-bands. So I don't know if you know what those are. They're like motion sickness bands, and they have a little ball that pushes on your tendons here, and it releases something in your brain that like helps with nausea. So that majorly helped. I did notice, it made sense because I noticed when I was in the car, my nausea would be way worse. So that helped. I'll never forget that day. I was at work and I was texting my mom like, I feel so sick, I can't do this anymore. I just looked up these C-bands, like, have you heard of them? And she happened to be in the grocery store, and they were in the like medicine pharmacy area, and she got some and drove all the way up to my work and brought them to me, and it was just the best thing ever. I put them on, and I would say that that was like definitely a marker where things got a lot better. It didn't go all the way away, but it took the edge off enough where I could get up in the morning and have some sort of hope that I wasn't gonna just feel miserable. Because I was throwing up in the car on my way in to work. I couldn't even film. Like, I didn't film for 2 weeks. I couldn't even move. Like, the thought of moving was overwhelming. I would sit on the couch, lay in the bed, do nothing. I didn't do anything for 2 months. Did nothing. Didn't leave the house unless I absolutely had to. So it was really, really bad. But right around, I would say I got the C-bands at around week 10. And then at around week 12, so about a week ago, I really noticed a difference. Like in how I felt. I'm feeling so much better. I still have a really hard time finding out what I want to eat because I have so many just like aversions. Like, things just don't taste good. They just don't. Nothing tastes good. I'm now getting to the point where I'm so hungry, like so hungry, but nothing tastes good. So it's really hard because I'm just like sitting here starving and I'm like, I need to eat something, but I have to just like shove it down, get the food down because I'm so hungry. Anyways, I feel like that was really long tangent of just continued talking. I'm sorry if this video is all over the place, but now there were some foods that I have been able to eat throughout that have been good. So I've eaten cereal. Specifically at the beginning it was plain Life cereal. And now I'm eating Rice Krispies. And I've had that every morning for 3 months. Noodles with cheese, like Parmesan cheese and butter, was really good for about 3 weeks when I was really sick. I also then had some major cravings for tomatoes. There was like a week or two where I would just eat 2 or 3 big tomatoes every day, so that was weird. Also cottage cheese, which I've stopped now because I think I've mentioned this before on my channel, but I try to eat lactose free. I think I'm lactose intolerant. I've never been diagnosed, but every time I eat dairy, it's no good. It's no bueno. So I'm just assuming I have a lactose issue. In my cereal, I use coconut milk, and the only dairy I generally eat is like hard cheese. Like, I'll eat feta cheese and things like that, but cottage cheese was something I really craved. And so I ended up eating it, but I think it messed with my system. But I would go through like a tub of that every day for probably a week. And then another weird craving I had was hot dogs, which is so bad for you, so I've tried to stop doing that, but I had a craving for hot dogs, and my newest craving, like last week, and I think I'm kind of off of it now, but it was SpaghettiOs, and that's so weird to me because I haven't had SpaghettiOs in probably 10 years. I haven't thought about SpaghettiOs, and all of a sudden SpaghettiOs just sounded like the best thing ever. So I've had like 1 or 2 cans of SpaghettiOs every day this last week, but I think I'm kind of off of it. So I did want to mention this. I forgot to mention this. At 8 weeks, we went back into the doctor and they did find the heartbeat, and the heartbeat was 134 beats per minute. So this brings me into the next topic I want to cover, which is like trying to figure out what the gender is and like if I have a feeling on the gender. So I really don't. I have been saying like if someone like forced me to guess, I would guess that it's a girl, and that's only because we were really wanting a boy. So we started out thinking about boy names, but then as soon as I started looking at girl names, it just like felt right. Like it just felt like, yeah, I don't know, like that's my baby. I don't know. So I don't know if that's my instincts telling me it's a girl. I'm not really sure. We do have a girl name picked out, and we have a couple boy name ideas. Let me know if you want me to do a video on names that we won't be choosing, but that like were in our top list. I've seen videos like that out there. I can definitely do that because I have like a list this long of names that we were considering. I'm not going to share the names that we have chosen on here. But also, anyways, one thing that the beats per minute shows you or like indicates potentially, I don't know if it's not like 100% accurate or even close, but they say if the beats per minute is below 140, it's typically a boy, and if it's above 140, it's typically a girl. So ours was 134, so that would mean it's a boy. I don't know if that's true or not. I also took the Chinese gender predictor where you put in your birth date and when you conceived, and that's like a little bit more than 50% accurate, so it's not that accurate, but that also said that it was a boy. And then I also did something with my friend, the one where you take the little like pendulum, like we just use a necklace with like a pendant on it, and you lay down and they put it over your belly, and if it spins in a circle, it's a girl, and if it goes back and forth, it's a boy. And mine went back and forth, so it's all saying it's a boy, but I kind of feel like it's a girl, but we really don't know. And one other thing I wanted to share with you guys is Nick and I have decided that we are going to keep the gender a surprise for us. So we are not going to be finding out the gender, which is really uncommon these days. I think I read a stat on the Baby Center pregnancy app, which was also something I wanted to mention. I love the Baby Center pregnancy app. I don't know if you're going to see it, but it's this one right here. That kind of goes with you day by day, not even week by week, but day by day of what you're experiencing in different articles, videos, things like that, and it gives you a countdown. But yeah, we are not going to be finding out the gender, and I think I saw on the Baby Center app that nowadays over 80% of couples do find out the gender, so it's very uncommon. I kind of would have wanted to know, but I'm not opposed to not knowing. Nick just really thinks, he's very traditional, and he thinks it's just one of the world's like greatest surprises you could ever get, and one of the best surprises from God you could ever get. And my mom always said the same thing. She didn't find out about us, but back then it wasn't as common. She didn't find out about me and my sister. But she always has said it's one of God's greatest gifts. Like, why would you open the present early? That's one of her favorite things to say. So I have two very impactful people in my life, my husband and my mom, who didn't want to find out. So we're not finding out, and I'm okay with it. And I've actually, the more I've thought about it, there's a couple, actually more than a couple, a handful of different reasons I think it's really a great thing to not find out. And that's another video idea I have, is a video on like, we're not finding out the gender, here's why, and here are some of the pros of that, because there's some things you probably wouldn't think about that I have realized is like might be good. I am already in maternity pants. My stomach is huge. Actually, I will show you my tummy so that you can see. So this is my little tummy. Again, I'm 13 weeks right now. So I was not expecting to show this early since this is my first, and everyone kind of told me you probably won't show until 15 or 16 weeks at all. And I was kind of sad because I really wanted a bump for Christmas. Like, I don't know, I just wanted to have a little bump. We're gonna see all our family and everything like that. But it just came out of nowhere, and I don't know if it's because my appetite has gone up so much, and even when I was nauseous, like it was like a hungry nauseous, so I would eat, and I was eating a lot of carbs, which I don't eat normally. My diet is completely different now than it was before, probably not in the best way. I'm not eating junk food, but I'm eating a lot of food and a lot of grains, whereas I normally wouldn't do that. So I don't know if that just added on to my stomach, but it definitely has popped. It's definitely a baby bump right now. I thought that'd be fun to show you. I will show you again my bump in my next pregnancy video, whatever that happens to be. Let me know down in the comments any of those different video ideas I have, like which ones you'd like to see. I would love to continue doing pregnancy videos. These are so fun, and it's just a fun experience. And I can't believe how many of you guys are also pregnant. I've gotten a bunch of Instagram DMs and messages down on videos that a bunch of you guys are pregnant as well, or just had a baby, or things like that. So I think that there's a lot of people here in this community that would like these videos, so definitely let me know if you want to see more of those by giving the video a thumbs up and commenting down below. That is it, you guys. I love you all so much, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!